Today's guest has a powerful story, and her journey has motivated her to help others achieve their dreams. As a certified action coach, she scripturally helps others to achieve their God-given potential. Her name is Delores Burgess, and she's my guest on Babbie's House. It's coming up right now.
Every day is filled with possibility. At Babbie's house, Babbie's house, everybody is family. Welcome to Babbie's house.
Hello, my friend, and welcome to Babbie's House. Thanks so very much for joining me. You know, Delores Burgess is a returning guest. She's been on Babbie's House before. But the thing I love about Delores Burgess is that her life and ministry is ever evolving. And she has a continuation of her story. She's back to tell us what God is doing in her life these days. And she is recently certified as a life action coach. And she's one of those people that helps motivate and even sometimes instigate people to get into their lane and to find their God-given potential. You're going to meet Delores Burgess in just a moment. But right now, I want to motivate you and encourage you to understand that this is the day that the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you said sometime today, thank you, God, for this day. Come on, let's praise God together.
I'm not worried about tomorrow, for the Lord will work it out somehow. I'm not laid undone with sorrow. Something good is gonna happen now. Life is the great adventure. Rise up, we're called to answer now. It's time to enjoy to be alive, wide awake inside. I'm looking at the world and now I'm not afraid to let my faith arise. I believe this is the day that the Lord has made. So open up your eyes, be taken by surprise. It's good to be alive. Yes, it is. So put one foot in front of the other. Step on out to deeper water, my friend. Come on. Time to reach for life and take it by storm. Time for throwing caution to the wind. Life is the great adventure. Don't let the invitation pass you by. Time to rise and shine. I'm looking at the world and now I'm not afraid to let my faith arise. I believe this is the day that the Lord has made. So open up your eyes, be taken by surprise. It's good to be alive. It's so good to be alive. Breathe in, breathe out, no fear. No doubt, look up, hold on, let go, freedom, yeah. Oh yes, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I don't know about you, but I'm glad about it, and it's my prayer today that God will motivate you and encourage you to achieve your dreams. Come on, let's worship Him together. Oh, it's good to be alive, wide awake inside. I'm looking at the world and now I'm not afraid to let my faith arise. This is the day that the Lord has made. Yes, it is. Be taken by surprise. It's good to be alive. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can look at the world It's good to be alive. Yes, it is. It's good to be alive.
My bills are going through the roof. Do you know my medical costs have gone up so much I can't even afford my prescriptions anymore?
You wouldn't leave your grandmother all alone.
And I just found out my rent is going up again.
Yet millions of seniors are on their own, struggling to make ends meet.
You should see my utility bills.
Expenses are soaring, costs are skyrocketing.
And don't get me started on the prices at the grocery.
But Social Security checks are too low to help seniors keep up with inflation.
I don't think anybody even cares about me anymore.
There is hope. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan group more than 1 million seniors strong, is fighting for better Social Security and Medicare benefits. For more information, call 1-800-333-8725 or visit www.seniorsleague.org. The Senior Citizens League. You're not alone.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Soccer. All across America, it's how kids get fit and have fun. Join us. Go to usyouthsoccer.org.
And welcome back to the show. I'm happy to have on the show today Delores Burgess. And Delores Burgess is a fighter, and she is fighting for others as well to help them achieve the dreams that God has placed in them. And she stands on the sidelines, and sometimes she even gets in the game to help them achieve their God-given potential. Welcome back to Babbie's house, Delores. It's so good to see you, beautiful
Babbie.
friend.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me again.
I know, that's right. It was always good to have you in the house.
Yeah, thank you.
Always.
Thank you so much.
Well, bring us up to date on Delores Burgess and what the Lord is doing in your life.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, wow.
Yes.
The last time I was here, I was telling you about my breast cancer journey and all of that, and we celebrated Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and thank you so much for allowing that information to go forth. But since then, I actually moved to California, and I developed a one-woman stage play in advocacy for breast cancer because I wanted to do something that was non-traditional, that people weren't doing, to get the information out there where it would sink in, and pretty much putting the journey in front of people, and it worked so well. So I rolled out my show in August of 2008. I brought my show here to Atlanta. It's called Fighting for the Title. I brought it here to Atlanta in March of 2009. 2 weeks later, went back to LA, and I was diagnosed a second time.
Oh my goodness.
Breast cancer a second time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes,
unbelievable.
It was totally amazing. And so the second journey, I had to go through all of the treatments before. I just did a mastectomy and reconstructed my breast, and went on tamoxifen for the 5-year regimen. And actually, I had just taken my last tamoxifen pill.
Really?
2 weeks later, and I was diagnosed a second time. Yeah, it was crazy. But God knew what he was doing. He just needed for me to be a little bit more educated, to have more experience under my belt in terms of helping other women and that kind of thing. So I took it just as that. Yeah.
But he doesn't do something for nothing.
For nothing.
It's always for something.
Exactly.
And it's always for something bigger than what we can see at the moment.
Exactly. And just as you had said about my having an evolving ministry, that's really what it has been. After I began my treatment of chemotherapy and all of that, I became an ordained minister. That I never expected to happen. I knew, of course, I work in ministry and have been for many years, but as a gospel artist, as a mentor, that kind of thing. But I actually became an ordained minister and had to preach a trial sermon and all that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But there I was, bald-headed. I had not one strand of hair on my head.
Wow. Look at God.
Yeah.
And you're beautiful too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So I decided to keep my hair short. No need growing it back. I love it. I love yours too.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I decided that I was going to go ahead and be obedient obedient to the Lord, and I knew, I knew He was calling me to something bigger and better and greater, but was just afraid.
Yes.
And so I've taken all of that, in stride, and I really understand what so many people go through just in everyday life,
And so many people are afraid. They have that goal, that dream out in front of them, but they don't know how to get started.
Exactly.
Or they don't know how to get in the lane. They don't have the right information or the right motivation.
Yeah.
And so you understood that.
Oh, yeah.
you even understand that firsthand.
Oh, for sure.
And so the Lord inspired you now to become an action coach.
Yes.
Tell us what that is and what motivated you to take up on that certification and that capacity.
Well, for some of the same reasons, actually. In dealing with women who are dealing with breast cancer, for example, I would hear their stories, and it wouldn't just be just about the cancer that they were dealing with. It would be about how unhappy they are, or they're depressed about certain things, thinking that they're going to die and never have achieved the goal that they wanted to achieve.
Wow.
I had a dream that I forgot about, or, if only I had I wish long ago I would have done this. I may not be here next year or tomorrow or whatever. And so just hearing these stories, hearing that there's such, I think, an inspiration that needed to go forth so that they understood that it's not too late, that life is not over. First of all, breast cancer is not an automatic death sentence, to make sure that point gets across first, and then to help them to understand that it is not too late. It's not too late to pursue that dream and that goal. I mean, I pursued my dream in acting to develop the show, at what, 45, 6, 7 years old. And I can't remember how old I was at the time I went and did that, but
hey, your best and brightest days are still ahead of you.
Right. So, it just not too late. And so I saw that. And while in California, I met so many wonderful women as part of a networking group. And one of the ladies actually presented these certifications through her organization. And so I signed up, and just an amazing thing. It just felt like all of these gifts inside of me sort of culminated, and it was just like, you're a teacher, first of all, and I knew that long ago. You're a minister, you love people, you have compassion for folks, you achieve goals. This is perfect. And so I took this course, became a certified action coach, and now I'm really setting a fire up under some folk,
Well, talk to me about the course. How do you certify to become a life action coach? First of all, what's the difference between an action coach and a life coach? Yes.
Now, like I said, I'm not a life coach, I'm an action coach. Basically what I'm saying, I provoke action. I sit down with a person and I say, okay, let's empty out your head. Let me hear what it is that you would like to achieve. And let's look at things, let's say, from a 3-month perspective or from a 6-month perspective, maybe a year or year and a half. What would you like to achieve? And so they'll spill it all out. We'll get it out, and it will narrow it down to, let's say, the top 3. Because depending on the person and where they are, what they're doing, how busy they are, you have to really make it really attainable, if you will, goals that can be reached. So we'll narrow it down to maybe 3 goals. And then I will actually help them come up with a step-by-step process, a strategy to achieve those goals. And not only that, I monitor them and hold them accountable as we're moving forward. They try to get lazy on me sometimes, or they might say, well, I'm not motivated today. Well, then it's my job to motivate them to say, okay, let's at least do one thing. Sometimes you have to break it down into really small tasks, things that they can actually measure for themselves. It may seem small to me, but it may be big to them. So I have to really praise them, help them understand that this is a very different lifestyle for you. This is a very different action, if you will, that you've never taken before. It's been up here all this time, and it looked wonderful in your head. Now we're going to actually get it out of you, make it manifest, bring it to fruition, and begin to achieve some things. So it's very rewarding.
So where does one go to get information about becoming an action coach?
Okay. Well, for me, now I was in California. I don't know if there's any organizations here locally in Atlanta, but in California, it's American Seminar Leaders. A wonderful lady named June Davison. Oh, she is just the dearest heart ever, and she has this amazing business where she coaches women, people, if you will, in seminar leadership, because I'm also a certified seminar leader as well. I do that too. Certified action coach. And then she has some other very special programs too that are specific for women. And so there in California, that's where I did it. I don't know about, if there's anyone local that's doing it.
And how long is the course?
Actually, it's a full 8-hour course. I'm sorry, not an 8-hour course. This is 4 days is what it was. I went for 4 days.
4 days.
And 8 hours a day. That's what I'm saying. So like a week's course, if you will.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we sit down and we seminar through everything, and it really helps you look at yourself too. It helps you look at who you are at that point in particular time, how you're governing things, how you're actually putting action to your life, what you have not done that you wanted to do, why you may not have done those things, and so now you can coach better. But it's an amazing course.
Let's talk about some of the people that you meet, because you actually have clients.
Oh yeah.
You have clients who are using your services to help them achieve their dreams. What would you say is the number one thing that deters people from achieving their God-given potential?
You said it in your song. How about the two number one things? Can you have two number ones?
Yes.
Doubt and fear. Two number ones.
They go hand in hand. They're like twin brothers.
Exactly, they are. And that's fear is it. Fear is it. Feeling inadequate comes, right next. Thinking that you're not qualified. A God-given gift, and you're sort of looking at how society qualifies you, and so you're thinking, well, I don't have the skill, or I don't have enough of this, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't know business, so I can't do this, or I can't do that. And you won't even take a step. You overwhelm yourself with all the negativity, and so you can't even move just one step further with something positive, because you're overwhelmed with all of the negative thoughts.
So then where do you come in? What is the first step? Okay, this is my first day.
Okay.
I'm holding the hand of my action coach.
Yeah.
Now what do you tell me?
Well, first of all, we just look at each other and we smile.
We can do that.
See, that's so easy. And then doesn't it feel good?
Yes, it does.
So just feeling joy
because
for a
it
change.
acknowledges,
exactly.
It validates a person and tells them you're worth it.
Yeah.
Your dream is worth it.
Exactly. And that I value you, and I appreciate you even trusting me to want to share your dream with me. Thank you for actually seeing me worthy of knowing what your dream is. And then I ask them, tell me, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What's behind you when you actually see yourself performing in this dream?
You know what? We're going to come back after this break, and we're going to dream some more.
Ooh.
And we want to hear a lot more about what Delores Burgess is doing and this great big dream she has. So don't miss it on the other side of this break. We're going to strike up this conversation again. We'll be right back after this.
A businessman with a heart condition heads to his next out-of-town meeting. There's something we're not seeing here. Most people don't know where they stand with the risk of DVT. Here's Mary, who's getting ready to celebrate her 65th birthday. Where does she stand with DVT? A recent hospital stay may increase your risk for DVT. Here's an athlete who's recovering from an injury on the field. He could be out of the game for some time. Here's a woman walking with her child. They're all looking good, tackling life, and living to the fullest. But what they don't know is just where they stand with DVT. They all may be at risk. DVT, deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot that's usually found in your leg that can break loose, travel to your lungs, and cause death. Each year, approximately 300,000 Americans will die from DVT-related complications. My husband was one of them. Are you a model for DVT? Take a stand. Awareness leads to action. Talk to your doctor if you think you may be at risk. Visit preventdvt.org.
Recently a woman wrote me to say nobody cares what happens to her money. Well, that's just not true. For 75 years, the FDIC has protected the money you deposit in banks. Those depositors have never lost one penny in the history of the FDIC. So here's the bottom line. You just can't put your money in the bank and not know how FDIC insurance works. You have got to make sure your money is 100% protected. So I want you to go to myfdicinsurance.gov and click on Edie the Estimator. In just a few simple steps, Edie lets you know if all your money is safe and sound. If I were you, I would want to know that. Who cares more about your money than you, me, and the FDIC?
Susie's right. Visit myfdicinsurance.gov and use Edie the Estimator, because the more you know, the safer your money.
Welcome back to Babbie's House. I've been talking today with a good friend of mine by the name of Delores Burgess, and she is a dreamer, and she is helping other people to achieve their dreams. And one of your dreams is to be an actress. The Lord has allowed you to launch that dream,
yes.
And you now have a one-woman show. Before we see a little clip of this show that you're taking on the road, take a few seconds and set this up for us.
Okay. I have a one-woman stage play fighting for the title. I play 9 characters, male, female, young, and old. I play myself from like 5 years old to my current age, which is into my 40s. I wanted to bring a word of encouragement and inspiration for women in dealing with breast cancer. Now, this touches on that, but the show is about much more. You just have to watch and see. It's amazing.
Well, let's do just that. Let's take a look at this on the other side of this clip. We'll be right back.
Mrs. Burgess, I have your biopsy results, and I'm afraid you do indeed have breast cancer.
Breast cancer survivor myself, so it personally touched me, obviously, so I shed a few tears.
Oh, I am so glad you came. I am so glad that all of you are in this room together. I'm Clara Walton, the brilliant, beautiful president of Sisters Network, the Atlanta chapter, affiliate of the only national African American breast cancer survivorship organization in the United States of America. I am a 15-year breast cancer survivor. Oh, keep it coming. Oh, isn't it great to be fabulous?
But you know what, today I don't care if I get a tattoo or not, you know what I mean? I don't care one iota. It's just like, you know what, sister got something to put in that side of the brow, we straight.
It just was hard. You just brought it all back home to me.
Oh, it's on now. Yeah, sister been praying. A whole lot of folks been praying for me, but you know what? I feel like I'm healed. I believe that I've gotten my miracle. I can just feel it. I just feel it.
It just touched my spirit and my heart.
And I said I prayed, and I prayed.
The woman is a testimony, a living testimony of how you can overcome this disease.
But you hang with me, your Henry. I have you whipping and shape in no time. You'll be working at East Wing Holloway like Tyler Banks on a Tijuana runway.
And I'm real grateful to her, and I'm so glad to have met her. This was a really wonderful, wonderful one-lady show. It was really good.
Whew. Okay, Lord, I'm thanking you for a lot of things, but the main thing I'm thanking you for is this Percocet. Woo! Oh, thank you, Lord.
Coming up on my year anniversary for my birthday to go get my mammogram and everything.
Okay.
And bam.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, oh Lord, no. And it was like.
But look at you. Look at you. Yes. Oh, that's the part that I love.
Changing women's perspective on a disease that is too often assumed an automatic death sentence. Because it's not. I'm living proof of that. If you remember nothing else, remember this. She who has health has hope, and she who has hope has everything. Look at me, a masterpiece. I'm a warrior. Original, there's none like me. I'm beautiful as I can be. Bright eyes filled with hopes and dreams. A vision fit to be queen. Who is this humble hero? That's me in the mirror. Truth is unloving me. I'm making my life complete. Won't you try it with me? I'm in
Delores Burgess. Bravo.
Thank you.
You know, it's very very emotional when you see how your story has impacted the life of another woman. Because I'm telling you, in the past decade, maybe decade and a half of our experience being in women's ministry as a worship leader and as a speaker, you look at that woman in the pew or in the seat. She looked like she has it all together. She's coiffed, you know, and she's got her hair did and her nails did, you know. But underneath that beautiful exterior is a woman in pain.
Yeah.
And to see a woman connect with your story, I'm sure it's pretty gratifying.
Yeah, it is. And it doesn't have to be about illness. It's about so many other things.
It's about the journey.
Exactly.
It's about life.
Exactly. Period. You know, just having that little ounce of faith, that mustard seed faith that she knows she has, but she forgets to use it because of all the circumstances, because of everything surrounding her, because of people, what they may say, or what she thinks they think of her.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, just all of that. So I'm able to see through that. I have such an amazing discerning spirit. God has just really gifted me in that area. And so,
and to see you come off the stage and bridge that gap between the stage and the audience, and for you to come out into the audience, validate that woman, touch that woman, pray with that woman, hold that woman's hand, look her in the eye, and tell her you're not alone. That in and of itself is a powerful, powerful thing.
I wouldn't do it if I couldn't do that part.
I know that's right.
I would not do it.
I hear you.
I have to do that.
Well, how can we get more information about Delores Burgess and about the journey that you're on, and about the Action Coach, and about your one-woman show? There's so much going on. How do we find out more?
Well, of course, you can always call me. I give my number out. My number is 770-309-6925. 770-309-6925. Or you can go to the Fighting for the Title website. You can send me an email from there, Fighting for the Title, just as it's spelled out, FIGHTINGFORTHETITLE.com.
Go,
FightingForTheTitle.com, absolutely.
And, listen, thank you so very much for being my guest, and thanks for coming back to Babbie's house.
Thank you so much,
You're always welcome here.
Thank you so much.
Always welcome. And you are always welcome. That is what Babbie's house is all about, lifting you up in the name of Jesus that he might get all the glory. Well, God bless you, and we'll see you next time here on Babbie's house. Bye-bye for now.